everyone. Boy, it's been a month, huh? Feels like it's been a year and it's not even the end of January yet. Boy howdy.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Anyway, today we are going to be doing another speed draw, and this time we are doing an idea that I've kind of had for a while. I just didn't know how I wanted to approach it. And my idea is magical girls based off of trash animals. And when I say trash animals, I mean like pigeons and raccoons and possums and crows and skunks and like all of the vermin or like animals that a lot of people are like, oh, these are like nasty, dirty animals. I like those animals and I think they're really cute, and I've always had an affinity for them. And I just thought it would be really funny and cute to do like magical girls based off of those types of animals specifically. So I started messing around with some outfit ideas. I knew I wanted to do a pigeon, a raccoon, and a possum. And then I was waffling between a crow and a skunk, and I ended up picking the crow at the end. But I think I do want to include a skunk eventually anyway, because I think that having 5 girls usually is like the standard for magical girl groups. So I feel like having 5 different girls would be kind of cute. So I do want to eventually include a skunk, but for now I just have 4 of the girls. Outfit wise, like magical girl wise, I didn't want them to be too frilly. Like I didn't want them to be pinks and purples and everything. I wanted to kind of embrace the grunge and like the street urban, like almost punk aesthetic of what I felt like works with, for lack of a better word, garbage animals. And because I imagine that they live in a very urban environment, like in a big city, I wanted their outfits to be kind of more appropriate for that type of area. So like sneakers, and if they have heels, like their platforms, and boots and straps and jackets and stuff like that. So I messed around a lot with what does a edgy, urban, kind of punk magical girl look like, and then also incorporating elements of each of their representative animals. And this was tough. I did a lot of variation, as you can see. I messed around with a lot of different things, and I was scrolling through Pinterest looking at outfits, just being like, what gives me possum? Or like, what gives me raccoon? What are the things about these animals that I want to represent in the outfits? So for example, possums, I felt like their silhouettes should be kind of large and fluffy, so I was kind of thinking maybe an oversized sweater. For the crow, I was thinking maybe something sleek and something that mimicked wings. For the pigeon, I was leaning a little more towards frilly and cute-ish because they are kind of frilly, fluffy birds. And then raccoon, I wanted maybe like some fur lining and the raccoon tail hairstyle from like the scene days. So it just was like a lot of different variations on outfits and trying to figure out exactly what I liked and what I didn't like and what I felt screamed the animal that they represented, plus magical, which was kind of tough. But I feel like in the end I kind of got it, I think I did. But you can see here, I did a lot of variants for the crow, trying to figure out if I wanted her to be more dressy or more tomboy, to have a hood, etc. And just messed around and tried to figure out exactly the feel and vibe I was looking for. I thought maybe I should give her some bangs that mimicked a beak. And then once I felt like I had an idea for all of the girls, I went in and started refining my design and my sketches. So I started on the pigeon girl first. I think out of all of the girls, she was like the girliest, quote unquote, or like the frilliest. She had little like wings on her shoulders, and I wanted her bust and waist to be similar to like the pigeon silhouette of Victorian times, because that was like a really big fad during that time. And so I was kind of thinking about that when I was designing her outfit, like the pigeon bust. And so I just, I thought she would be kind of a little more academia vibe, or like Victorian academia vibe, like, but very, very slight, with like a grunge edge or like a punkier edge. I also really wanted to draw their familiars, and initially I was thinking of making their familiars just kind of like a cute animal that like tags along with them. But then as I was working on the raccoon girl and her animal familiar, I thought maybe it might be cute to make them standing like on two legs, and that maybe they could speak and speak to the girls, like all of them could speak to the girls. I don't know. I'm still waffling on this, deciding between the two, but I'm kind of leaning towards them being able to like walk and talk. But unfortunately, I did run out of time for this video to make the little like familiars, because I wasn't really happy with any of the designs, and I think it would just take some more fiddling with. So they don't have any familiars yet, but I do plan on giving them all familiars. But that does kind of lead me into my working concept for this whole idea, because a lot of the times when I'm coming up with a new idea, I kind of need to give myself an elevator pitch or something that places the characters in the world, and so I kind of maybe know how the world works and why they're doing the things they're doing. My vague idea so far was that the group of 4 girls, maybe 5 eventually, who knows, stumble upon a very old and nasty fountain in an alleyway somewhere. The fountain is covered in vines and trash and looks like it's been forgotten for like a very, very long time. And they kind of clear off things and they're like, what is this? Like, I don't remember ever seeing this thing. Like, this is so weird. One of the girls makes a little joke about making a wish in this fountain because there's some like dingy water in the bottom of it. And so they toss a coin in and make a wish, and it awakens an ancient magic. And this ancient magic was tied to the fountain from thousands and thousands of years ago, and it's supposed to imbue the wisher with magical powers of the fauna around them. Now, of course, at the time the fountain was made, I'm thinking that maybe they were anticipating that they would get the powers of like deer or bear or like, you know, something like that. But because now it's completely built upon and they're in this urban environment, the only animals that are around are pigeons and raccoons and skunks and possums and crows, just like all of those like vermin. And those are the animal powers that get imbued. And then I think that they use their powers to fight off evil CEOs. I like evil CEOs and companies that are causing pollution and destroying areas. Just because I think it would be really funny, and I just have this mental image of them bursting through the glass of like a 70-floor skyscraper and just like beating the crap out of some sort of corrupt CEO. Maybe that's just me talking. I don't know. I just think that it's funny. Anyway, enjoy a break from my talking maw and let's watch some nice relaxing line art. So once we did the line art, now comes the next challenge, which is colors. Obviously, most magical girl stuff is like bright, shiny, pretty, pinks, sparkles, purples, greens, teals, nice colors, not like gray and brown and gray and black and white and gray. So for the pigeon, I felt like I would really lean into the colorful part on the neck and do like the iridescent vibe on her hair and then like on her chest and add the like iridescent stuff as accents and then do mostly grays and blacks and whites with, of course, pink shoes to mimic the little pink feet and just some nice little black detailing that mimic like the lines on the wings. And then we'll just throw on some sparkles on there for fun. The raccoon was a little harder. Obviously, I had to do the raccoon tail stripes. I really struggled with what color palette I wanted her to have. One thing with coloring groups of characters is like you kind of want to keep your colors similar to each other or like use the same gray. If you have one gray in one area, use the same gray in another area, etc. So I wanted to keep the colors similar but slightly different and have them kind of have their representative colors as well. And so with her, I really struggled, but I think I landed on kind of this like brown, yellow, gray combo. I wanted her vibe to be kind of like spunky and mischievous, like what a raccoon is like, and big sleeves with her grimy little paws underneath. For the possum girl, I wanted her to be kind of like sleepy and shy and cute and timid, kind of like how a possum is because they like play dead, quote unquote. So I wanted her to kind of be a little nervous, like she's kind of like a nervous girly. And her colors are, of course, like gray and white and black with pink shoes and pink gloves, and I wanted her shoes and gloves and all the pink parts to be that kind of like pink iridescent because I was trying to add more of like the magical quality back into some of these limited color palettes. So I figured the parts that are very colorful, I'll try to make them extra colorful by making them like iridescent or glittery, and then the rest of it can be kind of like gray and white. But the pink obviously mimics like the little pink hands and feet of a possum. And I tried to make sure that she was in this like big oversized sweater that kind of represented the big fluffy coat of a possum. They look so cuddly. So I just imagined that whatever she would wear is something that's like very cuddly and cozy, soft, something that she can kind of like hide away in. It was kind of hard to make them look magical. And I don't know if I really fully achieved it, but I also think maybe I did a little bit. So I might have to go back in and add a little more magic to them. I just don't know exactly how yet. And this last girl was kind of also a challenge in her own way, because how do you make all black stand out from itself? So I tried to stick with like blues and purples, like very dark blues and purples, and added that kind of blue vibrant shine to like the underside of her cloak and her hair and everything to have a little bit of like an iridescent look to it, because obviously a crow is all black, so I have no other specific colors to pull from besides black and maybe gray, and I didn't want her to just be black and gray, so I settled on purples and like deep blues with like the very vibrant highlight because I felt like it still gave crow without being fully black. But with all of this said and done, we're done with all of the colors, so we can move on to the little sheets and I can talk a little bit more about the characters. Welcome to Vermin Hex, which is the magical girl group name that they are a part of, and this is Piper Grey or Plumora, and she is based off of a pigeon, obviously, and her familiar will be a pigeon. Her gemstone that she has her powers kind of like magically imbued in, because every magical girl needs a sort of like magical item or something like that. Her magical stone is the Labradorite, and I felt like it had good pigeon vibes to it color-wise. Weapon-wise, I think she would probably have some sort of staff that she could shoot powers out of. And personality-wise, she is calm, adaptable, friendly, and sweet. Now let's move on to the next girl. The next girl in the lineup of Vermin Hex is Stevie Knox, or Shadowpaw. She is obviously based off of a raccoon, and her familiar would be a raccoon. And her stone that has her magical powers imbued in it is the Black Banded Agate. I felt like this stone had the same sort of look and stripes as a raccoon has, and I felt like it would be the perfect fit. Weapon-wise, I think maybe she would have some sort of like twin daggers or something. Personality-wise, she's spunky, she's kind of chaotic, she's very mischievous, and she likes to get her little mitts on everything. Alright, and let's go to the next girl. Third in Vermin Hex is Sylvie Hollow, or Faintheart. She is based off of a possum, and her familiar will be a possum. Her stone is the Moonstone, because possums are nocturnal. And I think it's a nice, delicate, soft stone, and I feel like that's kind of what she is. Weapon-wise, I feel like she would have some sort of weapon that would put people to sleep or cause some sort of fainting or something like that. So I'm feeling like she also might have some sort of scepter or staff, or maybe even like some sort of like lantern, like a lullaby lantern or something that she can shoot magic out of. But I feel like she would have something that falls along those lines. Personality-wise, I think she would be kind of like shy and timid. I think she would be a night owl. She would just be up all night. And I think she'd also be like soft but spooky. So she has like a cute and cozy energy, but she also likes kind of like the eerie and like the macabre and stuff like that. That's kind of the vibe I get from her. And let's head over to the last one, which is Celine Crowley. Get it? Crowley. And her name is Cawthorn. Multiple puns in this one. And obviously she's based off of a crow, and her familiar is the crow. Her stone that her powers are imbued in is the blue goldstone, which sounds weird because it's a goldstone, but it's blue. But it is a very pretty stone, and it reminds me of the night sky, and I feel like it gave good spooky crow energy. I didn't want to just give her like the onyx stone or something because it's just black, so I wanted something with a little bit of pizzazz in it. Weapon-wise, I don't know if this is cliche, but I kind of saw her with like a really cool scythe. Because I feel like that would just be badass to have just like a really big magical scythe. That's just what I keep envisioning. If you have a better recommendation, let me know below. Personality-wise, she's obviously very clever and very observant. She's like super smart and is really, really great at problem solving. I also think that she is a collector and likes little trinkets and shiny things, because obviously you can't make a crow character and not have that as a trait. I mean, come on. And I think also she might be kind of like a loner, but then she has her little group, which obviously here is the Vermin Vex, but she does prefer her solitude a lot of the times. And that's about it for these girls, for the Vermin Vex. Let me know what you think down below if you really like these girls and if you want to see more about them. Which one is your favorite? What do you think of this idea? It's dumb and weird and fun, right? That's basically what I was thinking is, yeah, it's dumb and weird and fun. Do you want me to explore maybe their familiars and design those and maybe some weapons and stuff like that? Or maybe explore the skunk character? Or maybe we could make kind of like a outer senshi type vibe where we have some other characters that can be added in the future. So you have like the skunk and maybe like a fox or a rat or something. I don't know, just of various animals that are kind of garbagey but are cool in their own way. Leave a like because it helps me a lot and it tells the algorithm that you like me. And feel free to leave a comment down below. And as always, I have more links down below that you can follow that go to my Ko-fi with my sticker club. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and take it easy, take care of yourself, detach yourself from the internet a little bit, hang out with some friends, and just like enjoy the little things. That's about it. Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.